depends on whether you added it or not.
Oh,
All right. Okay. So let's go. So just waiting for the stream to come through to our Facebook groupies. I'm going to need to sort out my lighting here because I look fucking yellow.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, is it? All right. So we are live right across the universe of Better Body Academy. I hope you guys are having a tremendous start to the morning.
Hey,
so
guys.
yeah, let's go. So
Good morning.
can I get out of this? I'm trying to get out of this crazy orange light. There we go. It's a little bit better. How's your morning been, Carls?
Oh, very good. Very good. Got an extra day at daycare, so winning.
Ooh, that always helps. So
I
guys,
feel very naughty on a what are we, Wednesday in my mufti?
You feel very naughty.
I feel naughty because I don't have my BBA merch on.
Oh, mate. Yeah, totally. I feel it. Well, guys, if you're coming into this one live, let us know in the comments, and we're going to kickstart this in 2 minutes. We're going to be doing a little bit of a chat about how to start and how to restart. So get down into the comments. Let us know you're here. So I think this is going to be a good refresh for a lot of people. If you do watch this one on replay, please hashtag replay so we know you've been here and you've got the juice. We've got a few people to say hello to. Hello, JC boy. How are you, mate? Dazza, what's going on, mate? I can see you get a profile photo again, Daz. Lovely to have your company here, champion. Hello, Julesy, babe. I hope you're good. Good morning, Ezzy. Coach Ezzy. Hey, Toddy, are you back home yet, brother? I hope you've had a fantastic trip, or maybe you're watching from somewhere over in Europe. So, guys, we're going to kickstart this episode in just over a minute. So
I feel like I'm third wheeling here because I can't see any messages, any comments displayed. So,
it's got nothing to do with your technology, is it? Guys, seriously, if you're a massive fan of Carly as a coach, just understand that behind it, I'm running the puppet strings. She can't fucking operate on her own. She's got no bloody idea.
Oh dear.
Anyway, it's all good. So, guys, we're going to start in 1 minute. Hello, Tezza. How are you, mate? We're going to be just talking here on a little podcast episode around how to start and restart. Jace says that's not a bad thing. Yeah, Jace, you're probably the same. That's why you know craziness when you see it. Hey, Toddy, Scotland, beautiful, mate. How good is that? Go and give Kevin.
Hello, I am here.
You are here? Oh, so good. Well, we're going to have some fun. All right, guys. So if you do end up watching this one afterwards, please hashtag replay, bang it in the comments, and we know you've been here. You ready, Carls?
Yep.
Let's do it. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast that you come to when you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. I am joined by my lovely sister. I would call her the better looking half, but certainly the, oh my God, the technology struggling half. Carly, how are you today?
I'm very good. Very, very good. Super excited to be here, guys, starting Wednesday Pump Day.
Now, if you don't know already and you are in Better Body Academy, on Thursday out of various time zones, we're going to be running a masterclass around how to navigate Christmas. So it's at 8 p.m. Sydney time. Change that for whatever it normally is for you, but it's going to be in place of the Australian Women's Coaching Call on Thursday. So the same times as the normal time for the coaching call. So come in, get the value, and we're going to help guide you through Christmas. We're also planning our awards night towards the middle to end of December. Super stoked to do that again this year, which was amazing last year. And we got on a Zoom call and we celebrated everything that is BBA. But today we're here to talk about how to reset and how to get started again after you've come to a stop. Carly, why is this a topic that you think is worth discussing? Why?
I think it's really important because I think at any stage of anyone's journey, we almost come to a bit of a standstill, a little bit of a roadblock, and it's only normal that these things happen. What's not normal is that you continue to stay off track. We're all humans. We all do it.
Do you go through periods where you feel like you're in super momentum and then other periods where you're feeling like you're just like stuck is the word that's usually used?
Yep. And we get asked all the time, right? Like, how are you so motivated all the time? I'm not, but I'm disciplined. And some days I don't feel like doing shit. It's normal.
Yeah. And that's where we want to start this. Starting this conversation with talking about motivation. I think that most people in the world have misunderstood what motivation actually is. You've heard us talk about this at wit's end, but it is literally a feeling that's temporary. It's going to come and go. I guarantee you, all of the legends that watch this podcast, people like Jason Nyers and Terry and Daz, who look really motivated, people like Xanth and Lauren, people that feel motivated, guess what? They're not all the time. Sometimes they feel like shit. And that's okay. And that's normal. Just like any other emotion or feeling, happiness, sad, energetic, lethargy, whatever it is that you're feeling, it comes and goes. Motivation's just one of those things. Sometimes you're feeling it, sometimes you're not. And that's okay. What we are looking to develop when we're on a fitness journey is we're trying to develop some discipline. That's it. What does the word discipline mean? It means trying to condition yourself to doing things that you don't feel motivated to do. I want you to think about all of the amazing things that you've done in your life. Maybe it's having kids. Maybe it's trying to get married, running a marathon, anything that's hard, building a business, getting a career progression. I bet you didn't feel motivated the entire journey, but you're able to overcome yourself somehow. So starting the conversation is around, you don't need to feel motivated to get started. You just needed to start. And what will happen is when you're stuck and you start moving again, you will feel motivated as a result of taking some action. Now, Jade's joined us here, Carls, and she's saying, I'm glad I joined this live. This is me at the moment. So what most people do in Jade's position is they sit there going like, all right, I just got to wait till next week when I'm going to be more motivated, or next year, or 2025 and have a fresh start. You're not going to feel any different. It's going to come and go all the time. The question is, how can you take action when you don't feel motivated? Now, this leads into point 2, Carls. You were talking about creation of a lifestyle.
Yep. And because I think a lot of us think that, the biggest roadblock is that we have to do all of the things 100% of the time when we want to start working on ourselves, become healthier, start a transformation, whatever it is. And we put these really horrible expectations on ourselves that I'm going to cut out all the junk food and completely uphaul my nutrition's needs to be on point. I'm going to start training in the gym 5 to 7 days a week. I'm going to start walking 10,000 steps when I barely do 2,000. Like, this is the very best way to set yourselves up for failure, guys. What you want to do is come in and think about this as a long-term approach. Stop these quick fixes of, my gosh, I just want to lose 10 kilos in the next 6 weeks. I want to lose 20 kilos by Christmas, because setting those ridiculous expectations always results in failure when you can't meet the deadline. Okay. Yeah.
I love that. I was going to say, what if we change the focus from what we want and instead think about who we want to become? Wouldn't that be a much nicer way to approach it? Because the facts are, you can't control the weight you lose. You can't control how quickly you put on muscle. These things are going to come down to the basic inputs, the things that you do. You can control the things that you do, and what's going to control the things that you do is the story that you're telling yourself over and over again. If you keep telling yourself, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, like that's what's going to continue happening. Let go of the need for short-term results.
Yep. And when you come into a transformation, stop just focusing on like a number or losing the weight, guys. Like this is just a short-term like mentality. Come in and think about the journey of being able to achieve that, all those little milestones along the way. Like, how do you make a permanent lifestyle change? Something's got to change up here. Physical transformation happens a lot quicker than the mental component part of this.
So, yep.
So yeah, you've got to be attached to the process long enough and creating those habits to be able to do this long term, slowly.
So what do we take out of this? We're looking for a lifestyle change. You're not going to celebrate losing 10 kilos if you put it all back on again next month. So why even play that game? Stop playing that game. Play the lifestyle game. Hey, I went out tonight and I had a drink. I enjoyed a wine. And I got up and I went to the gym the next day. That's a lifestyle. Cutting everything out, that's a short-term result because you're not going to cut everything out for the rest of your life. Make sense? So let's get a bit more practical. Let's talk about a basic approach, particularly if maybe a little bit like Jade, you're feeling a bit stuck at the moment. What can you do to get unstuck? Here's what you shouldn't do. Carly talked about it at the top. You just try to take on too much. I'm going to be perfect. Okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to be perfect with everything. Like, I don't know about you guys, but at least half of my days are shithouse. That's not because I'm not trying. It's because things happen external to me and I'm not operating in this kind of universe of my own. It's going to get hard sometimes. So my suggestion is you just focus on doing one thing for 30 days. That's a really good idea. So what one thing, Carls, would you, to someone who's become stuck, and obviously it's going to vary between persons, for someone who's become stuck, what one thing do you think is a good idea to start off, to re-get into momentum again?
I think, you could really simplify it and just start. It could be as simple as just start walking. I was going to go down the line of having some open communication with your partner, with your family, because it's usually like that can be the biggest struggle is actually when the family don't understand what you're doing and changing things, the dynamics and tension rises and the rest of it.
Good
so
call.
Communication to me is a really important thing.
Yep. Okay. And so what about nutrition? Right?
Yep.
Where would you start with nutrition? A lot of people will say, right, I've never been good at tracking, so I'm going to track everything for the next 30 days, which is a good idea in principle, but practically, if you've never tracked for more than a day, how do you think you're going to go from 0 to 100%? A better way to do it would be, I'm just going to focus on eating mostly whole foods that are not in packets.
Yep.
Or I'm going to make a commitment of 30 days to not drink my calories. Or if you want to do some tracking to get some numbers involved, what I'm going to do is track protein only. I'm not even going to care about calories. I'm just going to track protein only. So for someone like you, Jade, which is feeling a little bit of like, oh man, this is like, it's tough at the moment. It's overwhelming and I got to track it. Dude, chill. Just stop it. Go and do one thing for the next 30 days and make a commitment to that.
And make it realistic. Don't set this expectation, Jade, or any of you guys, where it's just completely, it's out of reach. Because the more that you tell yourself you're going to go follow through with this unrealistic goal and fail, you just like, it's just ruining all trust with yourself to be able to do it again.
So let's talk a bit about failure in a fitness journey.
Yep. So I think failure, well, you know what? I think failure has a lot of different, it depends what failure means to you. I think when you have these, I like to call them more these bumps along your journey. Failure to me is when you just like, fucking tap out, I give up. That's
quit.
it. Like, quitting, exactly. But a lot of you girls and guys think that just because you ate one shitty meal or you drank a 6-pack on the weekend or you got a little bit of takeaway with your family that you messed up. and all your results from during the week have just completely been ruined. Like, guys, you're human. You need to remember you're human, and also use these times to kind of reflect on what went wrong and what you could change next time. So for me, when I was still young in my journey, it was like we loved nothing but takeaway and drinks on the weekend. And so when I decided to make that change, I made sure that I was drinking, it could be low calorie drinks, and also having backup frozen meals in the freezer, because I know that if I had have ate the shit, I was in that mindset of, oh, look, failure, done it all again, rolls into the new week.
Isn't that funny that we think because we do one thing wrong that we then might as well just throw it all out and start again next week? I might as well, like, that's what we call self-sabotage.
Yeah.
That's like, to be honest, like, I'll give you an example of what that's like. That's like me walking down the street and look, I'm happily married, and I see an attractive girl and I look at her and go, wow, she's attractive. Probably stared at her a little bit too long. Creepy. And then I go follow her up the street and try to get in the car with her and have an affair with her. And it's like, dude, what the hell? Why are you so like, guys, we have these little bumps on the road. It's completely normal. Again, if you're trying to do a short-term thing, that's why you keep failing. But if you're doing a long-term thing, the longer you're doing it, the less relevant any one day is.
Yeah.
Understand that. The longer if you're doing this for the next 50 or 60 years, is your goal to live healthfully for the next 50 or 60 years? If it is, 1 or 2 days every now and then is just really not that significant at all. In fact, we encourage it. It's you having a great time. It's funny when clients put up in our group, they say, everything went to shit on the weekend, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh, so you had a good time.
So you're human.
You're human.
You are like me.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, how to be accountable. Like, how do you think building in accountability is best done?
Firstly, you need support around you. Okay. You need to find your people. Okay. So there's no point being accountable to some, I don't know, jackass. There's no point being accountable to your alcoholic partner when they don't value your
they're trying to undo you, so you come back with them, right?
Yes. So you need to find your people. Okay. And when you come into a program like ours, or I don't know, other programs, whatever it is, you're all kind of, on the same path, all at different speeds, but wanting to better yourself, right? So that's really important, getting the people around you. Secondly is actually ripping the scab off on this and stop thinking that your wins are insignificant to say, Lauren, that's just run a half marathon. Because you've managed to get yourself your first 10,000 streak, that's no less of a win than somebody running a half marathon, because you're at different stage of your journey. You can't compare yourself to somebody that's been, that's 6 months ahead of you.
100%. One of the boys on the coaching call this morning, he said, because we did a bit of a round robin of wins, and he said, well, my win's only small, but for me, it's a big deal. It's like, I've been listening to the podcast and I feel like my mindset's just completely changing, and I feel really great about it. And it's so good because everything seems, I know it's only a week in, but everything seems to be changing. Hey, sorry to bore you guys. It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean sorry to bore us? Dude, that's amazing. Claim it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And pre-framing it. We had one of the girls on the coaching call a couple of weeks ago, and I called her out and she said, oh, but it's really silly. And I'm like, good. I want to hear it. What is it?
Yep.
I parked up between the petrol Bowser and my car. I opened the door and went, oh, not going to fit out of this. Squeezed herself through and was like, I just fit through that gap. Yeah, it's funny, but it's like, that is the shit we want to hear. That's important. That is a win. Big stuff. Obviously not comparing your wins to other people.
So let's wind this podcast up with a couple of tips I want to talk about what you should turn off. Like, I'm a big proponent of you become what you eat, but you don't just eat with your mouth, you eat with your ears and your eyes. What are you feeding yourself? Now, each to their own. Like, I don't care what you do. I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspapers. I'm immune to it. And that's a selection that I've made because it depresses me. When you think about the news, it's like death, 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 rape, bank robbery, sport, weather, attempted a feel-good story to leave things on a high note. And then we go back into a fucking current affairs. Like, why would you choose to feed yourself with that? If something's really important, you'll find out about it. But don't, if you struggle emotionally with keeping yourself in a positive mindset, don't remind yourself how negative to be by watching the news. That's crazy. Switch it off. Listen to something positive. This is the great thing about things like Netflix and YouTube. You can choose what you want to listen to. So, Carl, why don't we finish off with kind of talking about going back to the root cause of why you start this in the first place, the why?
Yeah, I think yes, of course, like a lot of people come in and they want to lose X amount of weight. That's great. But let's not get solely focused on, I just want to be 20 kilos by the end of the year. Let's think about all the positives that come out of that. Okay, so things like maybe you've got a really shitty relationship with food. All right. So maybe that's something that you can work on during your transformation. Maybe if you've got a really shitty relationship with your partner, how things are going to improve. Maybe it's you don't like having sex with the lights on. Okay, you get yourself in better shape. Maybe you might do that one day. How do you turn up into your everyday work life? Are you a confident person in your role? Well, you should see what happens when you start to build that confidence during a transformation, when you start to get yourself in better physical shape. So don't just focus on the end outcome being some measurement. It's all the internal work that goes into it as well, the journey.
And I think it helps to kind of keep asking yourself why. We do this at the start with you guys. We say, why do you want to lose weight? And you give an answer and say, yeah, but why is that important? But why is that important? And for me, it comes down for me is that I want to get to the end and know that, like, fuck, I had a good experience. Oh man, Jace had a really good time. I had a really fucking good time. That's my why. I want to have a really good time while I'm here because I know that I'm not going to live forever. And this is a gift. It's so amazing, the opportunity to be able to get up and work out and be strong. And when everyone else is getting older and more out of shape, I'm fucking getting stronger and sharper and more motivated. Wouldn't you like to feel like that? That's fucking what it's all about. And so our continuation to do these podcasts, even when we don't feel like them, even when we're not motivated to do them, is because we love the idea of just passing it on and bringing people into our world, into our community. And hopefully you get entrapped in that. You start to feel the same things. And we see it, you know, with guys and girls that catch on to this and start to listen, start to chop out the shit and start to all of a sudden feel something different in our lives. I was speaking to, via text here, Xanth's daughter this morning, Georgia, and just a very quick conversation back and forth. Like, she's just so proud of her mum and her uncle. You want to make your kids proud? You can
seeing Lozzie Taylor with her kiddo in the gym.
You know,
like it just flows. It flows into all of it. Leave your kids a legacy.
I love that. All right, we're going to leave the podcast here, guys. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully you got a little bit of a value out of these. With these podcasts, the goal is to just give you a little pump, right? Give you a little reminder. And if as a result of listening to this podcast, you come away and you go, yeah, you're right. I have been trapped in my own thoughts again. Let's do a reset. Let me focus on one thing. Let me be more accountable to the group. Great. You won. You're going to fall off again. That's completely normal. And then you're going to hear another podcast. You're going to see our mugs and you're going to go, fuck these guys again. They're so annoying. Okay, cool. Yep, no, you're right. This is how you do it. Each little failure becomes shorter and shorter and shorter because you don't quit. You don't give up on yourself. This has been the Better Body Academy podcast, coming to you with another episode. Peace out.